geldiniz. Mimari Tasarım, Yöntem, Eleştiri ve Metot Çalışma Grubu'nun etkinliği olan arada bir etkinliğin ikincisine gelmiş bulunuyor. Daha önce İhsan Bilgi'nin bir konuşması vardı. Yine aramızda katılanlar olmuştur belki. Şimdi onun üzerine aslında biraz yani o daha tarih kuram ekseninde ilerleyen bir konuşmaydı. Bugün yeni pratiklerden ve özellikle çağdaş toprak yapı pratikleriyle ilgili bir araştırma ve bunlarla ilgili takım pratiklerin olduğu bir sunum dinleyeceğiz. Timur Ersen, Lyon Mimari Okulu'ndan mezun. Şu an yani daha önce çağdaş toprak üretimleriyle ilgili bir takım ofislerde ve kendi pratiğiyle bir takım denemeleri, çalışmaları oldu. Şu anda da pratiğini Türkiye'de sürdürüyor. So after the Turkish introduction, I'm leaving the words to you.
Okay. Is this?
Yes.
It's working? Okay. Hello. Thank you, Sergi. I didn't understand any some, but okay, I will do it in English. I don't speak Turkish yet, but it will come. So, I will talk about my experience these last years and how these two words are very essential for me in architecture and in how I imagine architecture and how I experience it. So, I will start with how I came with this idea that local engagement is very important and necessary in architecture. Is through the diploma. I was in the School of Architecture and I was not so motivated by architecture at the end. We had the opportunity to make a diploma with a team of 25 students, engineers, architects, and others. And it was a very challenging project. We had to build a house by ourselves, design it, build it, find the money, find the materials, build it in France, and bring it to Madrid because it was for a competition called Solar Decathlon, where 20 teams from everywhere in the world, they come and build a house there. So I decided to participate because I wanted to stop with only designing. I wanted to build. So we were lucky because in our region there is this space which is open to the School of Architecture to come and experiment and build stuff. I don't know if there is this in Turkey, but it's a very, very good space to learn architecture. And so we used this space for 5 months. After designing the project, we used this space to build it. We had to find sponsors. We started from zero. And at the end, the project costed 3 million euro, including everything, the transport and everything. So we built it there. We had to think that we have to build it in 5 months, but there in Madrid we had only 10 days to build the house. So, and that's where I was in charge of the finishings, wood details and earth, plaster. I didn't know that we could use earth in architecture because in the school we never been taught that it was possible. Because I don't know here, but in France, the problem is when you draw a project, you have this black line on the white paper, and you don't ask yourself what is this black line. It's already concrete. And so when I discovered earth, slowly, I was very sad that we didn't learn it before. So I discovered it, and then, this is just to show the project in Madrid. This is the house, the first one, the gray is 2 floors, this is ours, and the rest there were teams from Japan, America, China, and it was 15 days very serious. Like for 15 days, there was 10 juries, architecture jury, engineering, the temperature should not move 2 degrees during the day and stuff. It was very, very precise. It's a sort of the high-tech version of sustainability, which I don't think it's a very long-term vision. But it was very interesting to build, and this is to show that we can, as students, architecture students, we can make details that are clean and nice. So this is, for example, the bedroom, and on the left you see this is the earth plaster. This is the living room. Upstairs, we won the competition because the jury, they really liked the fact they asked every team to build a house for a couple, and we decided not to build a house but to build a tower because we thought that sustainability is in our period more in the city, and we should not think about individual houses. So we built a tower, and we just brought the two last floors. One floor is a house, and the upper floor, this one, is a common space for everyone in the tower. Okay, so when I was discovering earth and practicing, I was searching on internet. Okay, I discovered a new material. What's happening around this material? And every time I write this on Google, you find one guy, which is called Martin Rauch. He's an Austrian craftsman, and he's a sort of pioneer. He's rebuilding with earth, but in a very contemporary way. I will show you later. This is sort of a translation, but I wanted to ask my Turkish family if there is not another word for the world, but no. Because in French or in English we say planet Earth, and for me it's very important because it shows how important is Earth. It can be the vegetal, the organic Earth, or as a building material. So a very fast some slides about the history. Earth has been used since we are building. So this is in Turkey, for example. It's like 9,000 years ago. And this, for example, in Haran, I went there 2 months ago, and it was very interesting because I saw on internet this picture, and I saw, oh, it's beautiful, I want to see this village. And I arrived there, and there was one house like this for tourists, and the rest were abandoned. So I was very, very shocked, even if I knew a bit that this kind of situation happens. I talked to the young guy who was taking care of this space, and I asked him, why do you don't use these houses? They are still here, they are strong, they are perfect for the heat. And he was ashamed. He said, no, we don't use this. This is for animals now, and for kitchen we don't use it. So, but they live now in houses that are made of pillars of concrete and filled with bricks, very bad done. Very terrible for the climate there, but maybe they prefer, because I've seen this also in Mexico. Everywhere I travel, I see the same kind of houses, which is sort of I think the example the Western countries gave. Okay, now 13th century, for example, this is in Spain, Earth building. This is in Mali, a mosque. This is in China. This is very interesting. It's 600-year-old. It's still here. Very nice in shape, and it's very huge scale. Because when I talk to people, I want to make earth buildings. The first image is like either it's very old, very fragile, it will fall, and it doesn't resist to the time. But if you do it well, it stays. And this, sorry. And this example, it's my favorite. I would have liked during the studies to see this example. It's a full city in Yemen, built out of earth. It's 10 floors high. It's an earthquake area. And there is 15,000 people living still there. This is in Turkey. I like this picture also just because it shows that there is many buildings we don't even guess, but it's made out of earth. And there is more than half of the people on the earth that still live in earth building. But sometimes we don't even know. This is in France. And this, in the old time, they have put a plaster on it with lime to protect it, but it fell with the time. But in fact, even without protection, it stayed, because I will explain you later this horizontal line that helped to avoid the erosion of the earth. In Turkey, 20th century. In Turkey, the main technique, you all know, I think it's kerpiç. But I will talk about another technique that I believe it has a very good potential in Turkey. Okay, now 21st century, what's happening with the earth architecture? And as I said, if you write something on internet, you will find this guy, Martin Rauch. And this is his house in Vorarlberg, made out of the earth from the hill. Okay, so after the diploma, I wanted to learn about earth, but I found that the best way was to learn by doing. So I asked him, can I work for you as a worker? And he said, yes, there is a space in a building site. So I was very lucky and I went there. And so I went to Switzerland and I worked on a project done by Ersen. And with Martin Rauch and the team, we were in charge of building the earth facade. So now, this is round earth. This is another technique that kerpiç. Kerpiç is like straw and clay that you mix, you make bricks, and you use these bricks. Round earth is, you use a formwork, and you put layers of earth that you compress. So, I will show you. So this is the site. And this is the excavation. So we took the earth from the site and bring it into the fabric where we prefabricated the earth. Because of course the problem of earth is that it takes more time than the rest of the techniques. So as we have to go faster and cheaper and impossible stuff, earth has been like forgotten, because industrialization made everything faster and cheaper. But not so logical. We don't use materials from the site. So for this project, Martin Rauch, he had to invent a system that goes faster. So he found a hole, abandoned hole, and we used this to prefabricate the earth and bring it to the site. So here you can see the mix. It's the first one on the bottom is the earth from the excavation. We can say that everywhere in the world, at least 50% of what you take from the excavation, you can use it in the mix for round earth. Yes, good. Thank you. But we checked that there was not enough clay and not enough stones inside. So, because round earth work like concrete. In fact, concrete is like stones, smaller stones, sand, and cement. And cement is the glue. Here it's the same. There are stones, small stones, sand, and the glue is not the cement but the clay. So we tried this earth, and there was not enough clay and not enough stones. So we went to a quarry like 10 kilometers away, and then we took clay and stones to mix the good one. And then we were in this hole there and we mixed all the ingredients, and this which are here. Martin Rauch is the first one on the left. So we had a formwork 50 meters long, and as I said, you put earth inside, you compress it layer by layer. So with this machine on the left. At the end, it does these walls. And what I really like in materials is when you see the process. So this is very interesting because you see the lines that comes from how we build it. And this gray line here is the line of lime and volcanic stone and sand. And this line, it comes from the picture I show you from this project in France. We saw these lines, and Martin Rauch, he discovered that these lines avoid the erosion of the earth, because you know earth and water, if you put water with earth, it melts. But the rain, if you avoid that the rain comes from the top and you make good foundations, you will have no problems. And you just have to avoid that the rain takes speed from up to down. If it goes fast, it will have energy and it will eat the wall. But with these lines, with time, the earth will lose 2 centimeters, but not the lines. So it will make like a drop. Like every 60 centimeters, the water will do this. So it will not get speed and will not get more eroded than this 2 centimeters. This is the second hole where we store the elements. For this project, we had like 670 elements, and it's became now the biggest earth building in Europe. And every block is 3 meters 30, 1 meter 30, and 45 centimeter thick, and it's 5 tons. So it's very, very dense like concrete. But earth, I don't know if you know, but you have to use it only for one purpose, is compression. You cannot use it for something else. It's very strong for compression, but not for something else. So here, as it was already a very ambitious project, they decided to make only the load-bearing facade a self-bearing. It's not bearing the structure. It could, in theory, but it could have taken too much time for the first project. So they made a structure for the roof, and then the facade is self-bearing. So once they are dry, we brought them on site and we assembled them. We just put them on top of each other with clay in between, and that's it. And every layer we make a ring beam with Roman concrete, which is a sort of concrete but with lime. Because there it was earthquake area. So it's in Basel, in Switzerland. So here it's in the building site. So here you see the joints, but what was very, very nice with this material is that it's still living. It's not dead once you use it. For example, concrete or metal, no, but concrete. Once you pour, if you want to repair it, it's very difficult. Or if you want to rebuild, you cannot reuse this concrete. Once the chemical reaction is done, it's done. Here, the earth is still earth, so you put water and you compress earth in the joints, and you can feel the joints like this. This is the inside. This is the texture. And this is the inside texture. We just put more clay at the end to fill the holes inside. So as you see here, we just put water and compress earth in the joints. And this is the final building. And it was a very big step. It's a very, very big step, this project in earth architecture. Because first of all, it's like it's very big. So it will, because most of the people don't trust this material. So here it's an 11 meter high building, 120 meter long. And it's also no protection. So there is the rain going on the side. And also the bonus is that it's made by famous architects. So a lot of people trust them. So here is some more pictures. And it's very interesting that you can build such building with the earth that you find on the area. It's a lot less energy consumption also. So now, I worked 8 months on this project. It took 8 months to build the prefabricate and to assemble. So now I will just present. I didn't work on this project, but for me it's like a very, very important project. It's his house. So it was a time where no one believed him that it was possible to do this kind of project. So he decided to make by his own a house to show that it's possible. So this is the hill. He just took the earth from here, and he was very lucky. It was a perfect mix, no stone to add, no clay to add. So he just take it out and put it back on the wall. Oops, sorry. So you use normal formworks like concrete, and you compress the earth inside. This is a nice picture because this is the ground, the earth that you take out, and once you put it in, it's exactly the same material on the left and on the right. This is the house. And what he understood, Martin Rauch, he's craftsman. Most of people think he's architect, but he's a craftsman. He understood that to change the image that people have, you have to make a very contemporary design, a very, let's say, Swiss design. So he asked a Swiss architect to help him to design it, and they made this earth house. And this one is load bearing. It's the structure is the earth walls, and you see the lines, the horizontal lines. This time he didn't use lines. He used bricks, fire bricks that he inserted in the wall, like this. So this is the inside. So inside you don't have to make these bricks because there is no rain. I lived for 1 week in this house, and you really feel the difference of the quality of air inside. So this is the staircase, which is like a sort of art piece. There is these concrete blocks that are inserted in the wall, and it's 3 floors high, and there is this how do you say handrail that never touches the steps until the top. It's very beautiful. This is inside, and as it's a very cold climate, it's in the Alps in Austria. So there is 45 centimeters of ramders, 15 centimeters of insulation, and 3 centimeters of earth plaster. So this is in fact all earth almost, and on the floor it's exactly the same mix than the wall. There is a wood structure, some wood trunks, and then on top he put 12 centimeters of earth that you compress with the machine that you see on the street, this vibrating plate. And on top you put wax, so you can clean it with water and there is no problem. Now, this is a workshop he organized with the School of Zurich, the School of Architecture. I would love to organize one like this in Turkey, but you will see they don't have the same budget there. So, and they took 2 weeks, 20 students, and they went on the site of a private client, and they discovered that he has these barrels there, and they decided to use it as a formwork. And it made these beautiful shapes here. So it took 2 weeks, but they worked like hell for 2 weeks. This is an interesting project he did in Switzerland. It's a cinema where the association of the cinema, it's a very small cinema, they didn't have so much money because in Europe this technique is very expensive because it's the earth is free, but the labor cost is the problem in Europe. Now the materials are cheaper than the people in Europe, so if you use a technique that use people, it's more expensive than if you use concrete or metal, which is a bit not so logical. But they wanted ramders for their renovation, so they asked him, how can we do? And he said, okay, I will, this is the plan, for example, it was just a renovation, so the red part is the earth. He said, okay, we will do it, but I will teach you until the first meter how to do. I will leave you the material and you do it yourself, the rest. So I think it's a very clever idea to do such a process. And very fast, some other projects he did just to give you an idea that many different shapes and things are possible with this technique. This is a sauna. This is a church, cemetery. Okay. And you can see also the different colors. This is as you want, because clay, as you may have seen in Turkey, there is clay, red clay, yellow clay, many colors. So you can also play with this. And this is, for example, in a hotel. And they use it because earth has the capacity to regulate the humidity of a space. If it's too humid in the air, it absorbs it, and if it's too dry, it gives it back, and which is an incredible advantage. So they just prefabricate this wall, and in each room they put one. It's enough to regulate the humidity. This is the oven, and that's the second advantage of this technique. It's a thermal mass. So I don't know how if you know how it works, but the idea of thermal mass is that the heat that collects the wall is given back, but with a delay. So that's what makes some house in the hot climate very fresh in the day, because it's the fresh of the night that is stored in the walls and given back during the day, and is the heat of the day is given during the night. This is in a hospital. Okay, and oven. All right. And after working for him, I was very physically tired. I decided to still go back to architecture because I missed it. And there is this architect called Anna Heringer. She's German. She's making very beautiful buildings with local materials, and she's very socially engaged. So I was lucky also to, after working for him, to work for her as an architect. So this project is her diploma project, and this for me gave me a lot of hope. The first time I asked her to work for her, and she said, you can do your own project. I was not ready to do, so I waited 1 year, and then I could come to work for her. So she made a diploma project in Bangladesh, and she went there, found the money, and built it with the local people. And with this project, she won the Aga Khan prize. So this project is a school made out of earth and bamboo. But this technique is another technique than renders. This is lacquer pitch, straw, and clay. But instead of making bricks, you directly throw it on the wall and shape it. You will see. And this school is not a conventional school. It's like based on Montessori, I think. So once a student has finished, or he's first to finish, instead of saying, "Oh, I am first," he just go on the back side of there's this space, these caves, and he just sit there and rest and read while the others are finishing. Okay, so this is a nice picture because for me it shows also that this technique, this material, you can use it with technology, without technology. This is the mixing machine that we had in the hall, and there they had no electricity, and they could still make the project. So here they mix the earth and the straw, and after they throw it on the wall. Then just after this project, she made a second one in the same place, a training school for learning electrical skills. And I think what she does in her architecture it's very beautiful. She uses local resources, local people. She involves the future users in the process, and she also adapts her design while building. And at the end, with very poor technology, low technology, she can make beautiful spaces. So this is the building site, and as you see, there is a lot of people, because there the labor is very cheap, and if you use a technique based on labor, you will give work to a lot of people. If you use cement, you will have 1/3 of these people, but the rest of the money you will give to an industry. So I think it's very important to understand this as architect, that when the client comes to us, he has a budget, he gives to us the responsibility to spread it, and we have to choose where does this money go. And all the materials, it's a very important choice. And also I believe that every project that you do, if it's small or big, in the process that you follow, you show a certain vision of the society that you want to live in. And also she managed to involve the women in the building site, and there it was a very sort of revolution, and it was a very good move, and it shows also our social responsibility and power also. So you see the walls, he's cutting, they put it, and he's cutting with a, how do you say this in English, I don't know, shuffle? Yes, okay, and he's cutting it. And here also, there is a lot of rain in this region. Here it's not the line that makes this erosion saving, it's the straw. Once the clay gets a bit eaten by the water, there is a lot of this straw going out, and this straw slows down all the drops from the rain. Okay. After working for her, during working for her, I met someone in the street in Switzerland, and he asked me if I could draw a project for him, and I was so 25, 24, and I didn't feel so comfortable to be architect of a project alone like this, and I say, oh, you can look at this website, and this architect, they do with local resources, they do this interesting project, you can get inspired and build it yourself. But he said, no, I want you draw it. I said, okay, but one condition, if I am designing it and building it. And so when I was in Germany, I designed it, and then I went there on the site in Mexico to start the building site. And of course there was a very low budget, and so the client was involved in the process. He was working as a worker, I was working as a worker, and there was 3 local craftsmen. And what was interesting is that the craftsmen, they didn't trust me in the beginning, but they began to trust me once I started to build with them, because they are really not used to this. In the beginning they were confused that I was there, working there, because for them, architecture, the architect is very the guy who just come, sign, and go back. And it's a big problem that people think this, I think, because it's our on the building site. Maybe not as a worker, but still present on the building site. And also, I don't know in the school what you learn, but for me, I was very not confident at the end of the school, because I spent 5 years designing projects from a white paper, but then when you come to the real life, it's very, very hard, because how can you start? And you don't know anything of how to build. And for me, it's very, very important to know how materials work, because you get inspired by this. You cannot get inspired by nothing. So, this is my first project. I went there with very few drawings, because I discovered that the workers also, they don't know how to read drawings. So it was useless to make very precise drawings. And as I drew it in Germany, the project, I felt a bit bad, because I don't think it's good to draw a project without being on site. But so I went there with a project that was still open. And this is the drawings that we use for building the project. So the program was, this is for a permaculture center. It's agriculture, but sort of an ethical way of making agriculture, and it fits perfectly with what I wanted to do as an architect. So the client wanted a small house where he could organize workshops, store his tools, and have a guest room. So downstairs there is a tool storage, a workshop. Upstairs there is a guest room with a terrace. And there the climate is 35 degrees all the year, very humid. There is a rain period and a dry period. So I had to understand all these informations to design a project that fits to the place. And also in terms of material. So I came there with a lot of dreams and motivation. I wanted to make an earth building, but in the beginning it was okay. Yeah, there is the client was saying, yeah, there is the neighbor. He makes earth carpet. You can draw the project according to these carpet bricks. Okay, I do. And when I arrived, we checked the bricks, and it was very bad quality. So we had to improvise a solution. So by visiting the villages around, we found that there was an area where a lot of families, they were living out of making bricks, fire bricks, but making by hand. So I found them very beautiful. But I also discovered that these beautiful bricks, they use it as everywhere in the world. These concrete pillars, and they use this brick that they make by hand just to fill the concrete structure. So I thought it was a good challenge to use these bricks and try to use the quality of this material. And also what was funny is that the family that make these bricks also live in a concrete house. Some details. Okay. So as they don't, the workers, they couldn't understand when I was drawing, I had to find a way to make them understand the project. Because when I was worker, I really didn't like this feeling that the architect didn't explain us what is in his mind. What does he want to do? What is this project? Why is it like this? Because when you are a worker, you are always like saying, "Oh, the architect, he doesn't care about us, and why he does these walls like this? It's stupid and stuff." But if he would have explained us, it would have been it's simple, just to explain, make a meeting with the workers, explain the project, and so on. And this is why I did this model. It was for them to understand every time why they are building this wall like this. It's because it will become like this. Because on the building side, that's our only power also, is that we are the only one to have the project in our mind in 3D. So, okay. Okay. So this is the site. What was very inspiring and also very difficult is that this site is beautiful. It's like it's a forest, tropical forest, untouched. So we had the hard mission to touch it, and when you arrive in the natural space, it's very harmonious and balanced. So in a way, we have to break every time we build a project. We have to break this harmony for a while, but that's maybe our mission, to make a project that fits to the place and understand this balance. So this was very hard. So here we can see the foundation. We started excavation. We had also no electricity there, no machines. So we all dig this by hand. And for foundation, instead of making the concrete foundation that they used there, we went to a quarry of stone and we buy the stones. And here you can see the bricks. This is the family place where they make these bricks. This is the earth when it's drying in the sun, and then after they burn it. I like these two pictures because it's the raw material, and this is when we have put them together. This is how they burn it. They put them dry on top of each other, and during one night they put fire under. These trunks here in the storage room, we decided to reuse them. They fell down from a hurricane 2 years before, and we said, oh, it's a very good material to use as beams. And also it allowed me to make an experiment that on top of this I made the around earth floor. So this is the bamboo work. There was we also decided to ask two young Mexican guys that wanted to open a bamboo building company. So they were not so experienced, but we trusted them. So they came and they worked for us building this structure. Of course, the details were not so perfect because they were, one was 19-year old and the other one 24. So yeah, the bamboo was a logical materials to use there. We cut this on the land. Part of this we cut this directly on the land, make it dry and treat it. And as I said, I wanted to experiment the earth floor. Also because the mason there was keep saying that it's not possible. So we find a good mix with the different clay, and the black clay is the clay that they use for the fire bricks. So we made different tests, and here on the top is the final result, and this is the hand of the master mason that spent his time saying that this was not strong, but then when he saw it at the end he was surprised. So this is how we did. Very simple. There is a wood structure. You put the earth on it, like 18 centimeter, and then you level it and we compressed it. Of course, there was some surprises because it was my first project. So when we started compressing, all the structures was vibrating. So you couldn't compress because once it was decompressing with the vibration. So we found a way. We went to the forest and cut this small piece of wood and put it under and then take it out after, and it was working well. So here's how we compressed it. And here is just after compressing, like 5 hours of compressing. And this is the final floor. We didn't have the wax that Martin Rauch used, so I had to find a way, and there was a lot of linseed oil there, and we made tests and it was working very well. It's in 3 layers of this oil, and it was waterproof, and you could clean the floor. This is downstairs, from the storage room to the workshop room. This is the terrace. And the roof, we decided to use this traditional technique, which is the palm leaves. In the beginning, I came with my European way of designing, which was I don't want a roof with this roof like this. I'm not used to draw this. So I drew it with this metal sheets, very cheap. And I was trying to convince the client, but at the end it's him who convinced me to use the traditional technique, and I'm very happy because it would have been a disaster to use these metal sheets, because when it rains it makes an incredible noise, and when it's hot it's incredibly hot under. So without so much technology and so much skills also, I still insisted in some details and try some details. If it works, doesn't work, we had to experiment. So here are the steps inserted in the wall. And there was a lot of work of searching for a pattern for the bricks. And this is beautiful when you discover a material like earth or bricks or another one, concrete. It's the moment when you start to understand how it works, then you can be creative. So this, we had to find a way, because I designed the south wall thicker, and this was the inside, was vertical, and the outside was going like this. You will see why. Here, you see it on the right. This is the south wall. We had to make it thicker, because then there was more thermal mass and it was fresher inside, and also less openings, of course, and more openings on the north. And this wall like this, it allowed that during the hottest part of the day, one brick was making shadow on the next one, and it was keeping the wall very fresh. So this is the palm leaves and the structure. And we can see the bamboo. In my drawings, they were very straight on AutoCAD, and here it's how they came. This is for me my best picture for this house, because it's not finished, the house, but I really like with the sunset, and they make in one day this palm leaf roof. And you see also in the front, this is the palm leaf, the fresh one, and this is on the roof, the dry one. Okay, this is the final house. Yes, that's it. Oops. So after this project, I came back to France for a school exam, and then I decided that it's a good time to come to Turkey. I always wanted to come to Turkey to learn Turkish, and also I was like very motivated after this experience to share it here, and I wanted to be an architect and builder here with the same dreams. So when I arrived, I made several tests. This is the biggest scale I managed to do in Turkey for the moment. So just to see if it was a good technique to develop here, if I can find somewhere the earth, if I can find the good mix. And in fact, it was very easy. The three first ones are different earths from Izmir. The one in the middle is from Marmara, and there is the violet one is from Cappadocia. So everywhere I went, it was easy to make a good mix. And this is the last test I did last week in Marmara. This is for a workshop that I'm organizing there. Maybe you saw it, I don't know. There is still some space if some people are interested, because I organized this for 12 people on the island there, and we will build a wall, a rounders wall. And in my mind, with the architect who organizes with me, I wanted to have at least 6 Turkish students and 6 foreigners, because I know that in West Europe, this technique, there is a lot of students that want to learn it. And I knew that they would be ready to come here and to learn it. So I said I want at least 6 Turkish and 6 foreigners. But after 1 week, I had 15 foreigners and 0 Turkish. So now there is still some space if some are interested. I think there is 9 people already, and as there is more asking, we will maybe make a second week. So it's in September. You can see on my website if you go after. No, this is the biggest scale, sorry. This is in Cappadocia in 4 days. I went there because I maybe had the project. It's in Uçhisar. If you go there, you will see this. It was the test to convince the architect. The architect was convinced, but there the tradition is to build with stone. So it was impossible to make it with earth. They wanted to make it with stone. But still, in 4 days, we managed to make this small experiment. And we had, as a foundation, it's a stone, because there is a lot of skills for carving stones. So it's a triangular stone put in the ground, the earth with the formwork here, and then on top is a stone, like this. And it was very interesting to work with. He was the Marangos, and there was a stone mason also helping me, and I was very happy to see that they really enjoyed it, because in fact, as in Turkey or everywhere in the world, the projects are a bit all the same technique, the same structure, same filling, same materials. It's a bit sad to ask to a worker who has many skills to use only one skill and make all his life the same way. So they were happy to change for 4 days at least. I will finish just with this picture. These are images I've done recently just about the workshops. These are several workshops that I want to do in Turkey. There will be one. Maybe we will build this in Marmara if we are a lot of people. This is in Izmir for a private client on Bozcaada here, and here was with the School of Kayseri. So yes, that's it. Thank you. if there is question, I can. There's questions? No questions? And if you want to have a look to again to some image, there is the presentation is here. So if you want to discuss with the image here, you can. So.
Can you give information about this workshop that you're expecting some students to join? How many students do you expect?
So the first week is 12 students, and there is already 9 reservations, so 3 space. But this one, I know, I think why there is not so many people. It's very expensive because it's a lot of investment that I have to do there and buy the material and stuff. So I cannot afford it. So it's €400 for 1 week there on the island, and there is like you have a room there, and it's on a house by the sea, so it will be a very nice time, I think there. So it will be between 13th and 19th of September. There is on the Architera on the website there is a poster. If you look Ramders or maybe my name, I don't know if it works on Architera. Yes. Yes. Okay. And maybe with ITU we will do one day.
Could you give us some more information about how you build the foundations? Like when you talk about like how I'm not an architect by the way, so I might not know the terminology, but the walls seem to be from the earth.
Yeah.
How do you deal with the foundation?
Like any building, it's you can make it with concrete or with stone or.
So
you cannot make with earth foundation. Yeah. In Bangladesh, one of the projects of Anna Heringer, she made the same technique rounders on the foundation, but then you have to cover it with concrete everywhere around. But I'm not sure it's so a good solution. If there is water one day that goes in. Yes. Other questions?
Do these buildings require any maintenance, mending in some years period? I mean,
yeah.
We need to fix them.
Yes, like any buildings, but the advantage of this is that you can fix it easily. You put water, take the earth and compress it on top. I was living in when I was in Germany working for Anna Heringer. In her flat there is a earth block, rounders block in the middle for the kitchen. So of course every time you hit the corner it breaks a little bit. But it's not problem. Every year with her daughter that is 6-year-old, they take the earth that fell down, mix it and repair it. Which is, I think it's very, very nice that you can repair it very easily. Because in the mind of many people, many potential clients that I talk to in Turkey, the first thing that they ask is, oh, it will be dusty, it will break and stuff. But I see everywhere bad details and broken stuff that you cannot repair. This one you can repair it. So that's the advantage, I think.
You showed several examples about this render technique, once in the Alps and now here in the climate. How this material reacts to different
climate.
Does it throw? Can it be thrown?
Yes. Yeah. While building, no. But after building, yes. When it's built, yes, you can build it in every climate. But it works like for hot climate, it's very interesting for the thermal mass and the regulation of humidity. For the cold climate, you can put insulation inside. It's not. Many people think that Earth is it's insulation, but it's not insulation. It's a mineral material, so it's a conductive. But already the regulation of humidity, it helps a lot. Changing you will consume less energy, because you all know that if it's 20 degrees in a humid space and 20 degrees in a dry space, you will not feel the same. And thanks to the earth, you will regulate this, and you will not have this very high heat needs and very low heat needs. For example, for me, it's a good answer for this climatization problem. There is climatization everywhere in Turkey. And they could have used the old techniques, the earth technique, and you don't need climatization anymore in the hot area. Other questions? No? Thank you. Thank you.